Welcome to the Negative to Positive podcast. The only podcast that starts recording for an hour only to realize that neither of us were recording.
I was recording.
And by neither of us, I mean I wasn't recording. So we're gonna start over. Yay! So this week we're gonna start off with last week we did Never Have I Ever, and we ended up the loser had to sing a ditty. I think we're going to do that again. I think we actually had a lot of fun doing that. We're just going to do some Star Wars trivia, and the loser of the trivia has to
sing a
ditty. If we're going to do 8 questions each, and if we tie, we both have to sing something. So,
indeed.
Yep.
All right. Let's start with the Star Wars trivia.
All right. I can start if you want.
All right.
All right. Which Star Wars movie was filmed entirely in the studio?
Okay. Are we doing options for these?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Entirely in studio. I'd say Revenge of the Sith.
You are correct. Revenge of the Sith is right.
Yeah. I remember watching the behind the scenes as a kid, and it was like all green screen.
Yeah.
Zach.
Yep.
Vader cuts off Luke's what hand? Like
he cuts off his right hand.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Which of the 3 main heroes, Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, in the first Star Wars trilogy refused to sign a 3-picture deal?
Oh. That's probably Harrison.
You are correct. It's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that seems like him. Which of these last names does Leia not have a family connection to?
You have to give me options for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't.
Skywalker.
I mean, I could be like, Fett, I guess. You know. You need
hey, that was the right answer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Then I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. The Star Wars Holiday Special marked the first appearance of which Star Wars character?
There were a few. I mean, Chewie's son, Chewie's family.
Yep. I mean, what's your final answer here?
Chewie's son.
You were incorrect. It's actually Boba Fett.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that. All right, I'll take the loss on that one. All right. Who does R2 not carry a message for?
Who does R2 not carry a message for?
Yes.
Once again, you need to give me options on this one because I can say literally anyone. I can be
Okay.
like Boba Fett. Boba
Luke,
Fett. He
Leia,
doesn't
or
carry.
Han?
Luke, Leia, or Han?
Yeah.
Han. He never carries a message for Han.
This is true. All right,
Yep.
You're one ahead of me now.
Yep. Okay. Which actor
I'm
pulled
gonna have
out?
to give you options on a lot of these. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you need to because it is like
Yeah. These are these.
I can
kind
just
of
say
forms
literally
questions.
like Jabba the Hutt. You never. Well, I think.
Yeah.
Actually.
All right.
What actor pulled out of Episode 3 when he discovered the non-union actors were being used in the film?
Pulled out of Episode 3?
Yep.
Can you tell me if he's in the film or not?
I mean, obviously not because he pulled out.
All right. Then I have no idea. Tom Cruise.
That is not even an option, so I'm gonna say no. It
was
was
it?
Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman had agreed to be the voice of General Grievous, but he pulled out of the film because it was being made using actors who were not part of the Screen Actors Guild, of which Oldman was a member.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader in his 30s or in his 20s?
It's in his 20s.
It is, indeed.
Yeah. Which means I am now 2 ahead of you.
Yes. You have better questions. But, I mean, I'm not going to switch. I'm not salty or anything. Right.
What character did George Lucas consider making a midget? And I will give you options for this one. Jar Jar Binks, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, or Princess Leia?
It's Binks. Jar Jar Binks.
You are incorrect.
Really?
It was Luke Skywalker. At one point, Lucas planned for a character of Luke Skywalker along with his aunt and uncle to be midgets. According to some sources, Leia's line when Luke rescues her, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" is reminiscent of this story idea.
That's Wow. All right. I was wrong. I could have sworn that when they were planning Jar Jar Binks, they were thinking about making him small, but
no,
whatever.
they were thinking of making Ewoks big at one point, but Jar Jar Binks was always considered to be lanky.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan learned to become one with the Force. From whom? I can. Well, do you want me to give you options on this one?
No, because it's either gonna be it's semantics. It's gonna be Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So.
You are rocking this, man.
Yeah. Who served as Jabba the Hutt's chief of staff?
Ooh. Can I get options for this one?
No.
Frick you. I don't know. Han?
It was Bib Fortuna.
Oh.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay.
Yeah.
You tricked me.
I asked you a question. It was very it was easy enough to answer.
How tall is Chewbacca? 6'8", 8'11", or 7'6"?
It's 6'8", 8'11", or 7'6"?
Yep.
It's 7'6".
Nope, it's 8'11".
No way.
Yep.
Yeah, is the actor's not 8'11"?
I don't think so, but with the suit he might be.
The suit didn't put him on stilts. He wasn't 8'11". Chewbacca. I'm looking him up now. Peter Mayhew is.
Oh, it's 7'6".
He is 7'6". He is 7'3".
Huh. Well, I mean, all right. The answer supposedly is 8'11", but
is Chewbacca. How about Chewbacca? How tall is Chewbacca? I'm looking this up right now because it's like he's not in the film. So unless they're saying that everyone's slightly tall, yeah, it's 7'6".
Yeah. I don't know. All right, whatever. Sure, you get that one. According to this, it's 8'11", but I mean that just might be a canon
That's wrong.
thing.
Well, I mean it's wrong. He's not in the films. 8'11" is huge.
Yeah, I know. All right. Go ahead.
All right, here's one. In Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, the growls and sounds of the Rancor in Jabba's palace were actually made by what animal?
Isn't it a lion?
You are incorrect.
Okay.
It is a Dachshund. The growls of Rancor Jabba Jabba's the growls and sounds of the Rancor in Jabba's palace were actually remixed from an audio recording of an aggressive Dachshund, which I'm looking up right now. What the heck that is? Oh,
What?
It's a dachshund.
Oh, okay.
A dachshund puppy. Oh my god, help!
All right. What did young Anakin Skywalker pod race in? What was the event called?
It was the I don't remember. It was like the Mos Espa something.
It was the Boonta Eve Classic.
Boonta Eve Classic. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't get that. All right. I think this is the second to last question.
Yes.
What is the first Star Wars film which Yoda is completely computer generated?
Well, it was episode 2, but they went back and changed him in episode 1. So
which one did you say?
It's episode 2.
Episode 2. You are correct, sir.
Yes. I watched the bonus features on that too many times. All right. And the last question.
Well, I have the last question, but yeah.
What?
I have the last question. No, you do. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, you don't? I have the last question. Shut up. Yeah. What color lasers do TIE fighters shoot?
Green.
They do, indeed.
Yeah. I had a perfect run, and you got 3 out of it.
You missed
one.
one.
I did. That's right. I had 7. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. So you lost. You're listening to another ditty, but here's an interesting question that I'm looking at right now. And it's which bounty hunter in The Empire Strikes Back is wearing an old costume from a Doctor Who episode?
I
don't know. I'm looking at it.
don't know.
It's apparently Bosk. Bosk.
I was gonna guess Bosk actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean that kind of looks like a Doctor Who-ish kind of suit.
Yeah. I like this one.
I got the question. Double or nothing. Yay! No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, you doubled your points, moving you to 6 points, and I have 7, and which means I still win. So
fair enough.
yeah.
All right. So I have to sing another little ditty.
So you sing a little ditty, and I think you're going to be singing. Well, I might see. I might sing with you. Reserving the right that I get to pick the song we're going to sing, and I get to pick which part you're going to be in.
All right. I'll take that. Yeah, sure.
So, yeah. Just spice things up a little bit.
All right, let's get on with the show. Time for some movie news. And starting us off, as always, we have our famous segment, random movie news that Zach will probably not care about.
Yeah.
This week, it was announced... actress Charlize Theron announced that Atomic Blonde will be getting a sequel.
Oh, cool! I haven't seen Atomic Blonde. I heard good things about it. So
yeah. I thought you might care about this, but I mean, it's basically John Wick female is getting a sequel. So.
Yeah, and I'm always super supportive of new action heroes, if that makes sense. So anything that can become a new James Bond, new Indiana Jones. So Atomic Blonde, great. John Wick, great. You know.
Yeah. So I'm excited for John Wick 3. Yeah.
Oh, I am too. I'm psyched.
Yeah.
I'm watching that film forever.
But yeah, and I will eventually get around to see Atomic Blonde. So, next bit of news. There's a new Tolkien book coming out in August. It's called The Fall of Gondolin.
Hey, I'll read that. I know all about The Fall of Gondolin. So yeah,
it was described by Tolkien as the first real story of Middle-earth. It will be illustrated. Yeah. It will be illustrated by Alan Lee, the same guy who illustrated The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah, as well as several other things. And he worked in the concept design for the movies.
Yeah, and it will be edited by Tolkien's son, Christopher.
Yeah, well, I mean, edited really means that Christopher is writing these books. Christopher really is writing these books. He's taking the notes his father had and just basically writing it. But there was edited.
There was one last year, too. It was like...
Children
I forgot
of Hurin?
exactly what it was called. No, it was like Baron and Lothlórien
Baron and Luthien
or something.
They did Baron and Luthien?
Yeah, it's from last year.
Oh, nice. I'll go read that sometime. I don't mind this. I don't mind that it doesn't have to be Tolkien himself.
It's just like his son.
It's his story. It's like all his stories
from his notes. Yeah.
Right. The Silmarillion has all these stories in them, but I don't mind reading expanded versions of them, like the Children of Hurin. Now, I will say that Baron and Luthien is one of the few. Stories that come out of the Silmarillion that actually is more or less happy.
Okay.
Yeah. Think Romeo and Juliet if they had a second chance, like they came back to life and got a second chance. That's
cool.
But they were less stupid and actually did some cool things instead.
Yeah.
That was Baron and Luthien. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say that I'll get around to reading these, but I mean, it took for me forever to read the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So
yeah, I will. I've read it all, and I read it with reckless abandon. So I'll definitely do it.
All right. A Quiet Place just came out, and we're gonna review it next week. But John Krasinski already has his next directing project lined up.
Star Wars Episode 8, 9.
I wish. He will be directing a sci-fi film called Life on Mars, and the full producing team from A Quiet Place will be following with him. The film is based on a short story called We Have Always Lived on Mars. Mm-hmm. And here's the description of the short story.
Okay.
The story centers on a woman who is among a handful of descendants from a Martian colony long abandoned by Earth following a cataclysm. The woman one day finds she can breathe the air on Mars, upending her world and that of her fellow colonists. End quote.
Cool. Cool. That sounds kind of niche and a little indie. I'm in.
Yeah, and I'm really cool that I think Krasinski will do a really good job with this. I'm really excited for A Quiet Place.
I mean, Quiet Place is doing it's doing all of the money. So
yeah. And it looks so far like he won't star in this one, but that's not a big deal.
He might have like a cameo or something. That'd be kind of cool to see him in. But I mean, we don't need to see him in order to watch it. Have fun.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a really good director. Also, I wanted to correct something I said
same.
like 2 weeks ago. A Quiet Place is not his first directorial debut.
No, it is not.
It's actually his third film. Come to find out. But yeah, so I think Life on Mars will be his fourth, unless he does something in between. But yeah, that sounds really cool. And I'd definitely be down for that.
I agree.
The Rock has recently confirmed that there will be a Jumanji 3, and development has already started.
Is there a Jumanji 2?
Yeah, that's Into the Jungle.
Oh, that's right. So
or Welcome to the Jungle or whatever. Yeah.
This is the third Jumanji. That's right. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean,
fun fact.
You need. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, the last one kind of wrapped up like. In the first Jumanji, it was like they buried it and you saw a kid found it, and that was like, oh, it's open ended. And this one, they like curb stomped the Jumanji games. I don't know. How they're gonna bring it back. And I don't know if The Rock will come back. I would love to see The Rock come back. I'd love to see those characters again. But it would be a little redundant if I don't know. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Do you consider that the best video game movie?
I haven't seen it still.
That's fantastic. I think honestly it's the best video game movie that has ever come out.
Right. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. I don't know like what exactly you consider a video game movie, because I always thought that it was like movies based on video games, but if you're including...
it was a movie that takes place in a video game, and there's video game tropes and all this other stuff. So I thought I consider it the best video game movie. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I need to check it out. But fun fact, the Jumanji 2, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, is now Sony's biggest film ever, and it made nearly $1 billion worldwide.
Hey man, good for them. That's the thing. They made a fun, really thoroughly enjoyable film. They did. It wasn't a Citizen Kane, but it was a good time. So
yeah,
good for them.
And their previous record holder was Spider-Man, so they beat out Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit.
Yeah. In Taika Waititi news.
Taika Waititi news.
Yes,
I didn't know that was a thing.
He will be directing a live-action Akira movie.
Oh no.
He said he's currently trying to wrap his mind around the project, but he's also said that he won't touch the original classic anime film, so it won't be like a sequel or a reboot, but he's going to go back to the source material of the books, and that's what he's going to base his film on.
Cool. So he's going to be casting white actresses as Asian people?
Yes.
Cool. I'm in.
All right. Avengers Infinity War is coming out in about 2 weeks. I didn't really want to, like we said last week, we don't really want to talk about like all the, TV spots or whatever, but just fun fact about how much it's making. In pre-sale tickets, it's already beat out the last 7 Marvel films combined.
In pre-sale tickets.
In pre-sale tickets, yeah.
Yeah. It will. I'm gonna call on the podcast now. It will be the first film. I believe this is the first film. I believe it'll be the first film to make $3 billion.
All right.
Yeah, that's my. If it's
prediction.
good, if it's not good and people hate it, it won't make that. But if people really like it, the film will make something like $3 billion.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty surprising given the past 7 films, because like among those past 7 films is like Civil War.
No, I mean
Black Panther.
Pre-sale, not the budget of the past.
No, I know, but still, like, it's impressive.
I mean, you don't need, for a lot of people, pre-sale is I want to be there opening night. I went and saw Black Panther opening night. I had no. If I wasn't asked to with the podcast guys, I wouldn't have gone. Opening night would have gone later. Thor Ragnarok still. I didn't feel the need to go opening night. I went like that weekend.
Yeah, that's fair.
But with these films, like it's like Star Wars 7 and Infinity War. These are big event films. So they're the ones that that make the really good pre-sale.
Yeah. In other Marvel news, Jessica Jones was renewed for season 3.
I saw, and I've never been so indifferent.
I know, right?
I'm not a big fan of Jessica Jones. I'm gonna pull a Drucker and say I just don't like her as a character. She's I just we're supposed to like her and be rooting for her, but it just
I'm with you there, but like especially with the response to season 2, I don't know why it got renewed for a third. You know,
because people still watched it even if the response wasn't great. So
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, people will always watch these things. They're not going to do an Iron Fist season 2, as far as I'm aware. But they're going to put him in Luke Cage and see if we can't redeem him.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. But season 2 of Iron Fist is still happening.
Cool.
It is. It's underway. Anyway, continuing on. Actress Mila Jovovich, who is starring as the villain in the new Hellboy film, posted a picture of the promo banner, which I will send you right now.
Okay. I love Hellboy, so I'm going to look this up right now.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool. It's very comic booky, which is nice. And it looks pretty good. And I have a description for you. The film is about Hellboy going to England, where he must defeat Nimue,
the Blood Queen,
Merlin's consort, and the Blood Queen.
Yeah.
But their battle will bring about the end of the world, a fate he desperately tries to turn away.
Nice. I kind of wish they had. I like the comic book aesthetic, but that's literally just images taken from the comics.
Yeah, I know.
So I like it. I'm excited. Like, this is probably my most anticipated superhero film.
Yes.
It beats out everything. It beats out, I don't care about Avengers compared to Hellboy. I love Hellboy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellboy is my favorite. And like Batman, like everyone else, Hellboy is my favorite superhero. So.
Wow.
Yeah, or comic character. I wouldn't call him a superhero, but.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So continuing on, live action Mulan has put together a decent amount of their cast, adding a few big names earlier this week. Most notably, they added Donnie Yen as Commander Tong and Jet Li as the Emperor of China.
Oh, cool.
And apparently this version of the story seems to be adding a lot of characters and changing a lot of others and taking some out, and we'll see. But it doesn't seem to be like Beauty and the Beast, where it was just kind of like a carbon copy. This one's really changing things up for better or for worse.
Who can know? No one, because I'm not going to watch it, so who cares? So,
all right.
I will watch it if the trailers have them singing "Be a Man." I will watch it then.
Well,
and by the way, Mulan really is my favorite Disney film by far.
They took out with how like they changed. Like I was saying that they changed a lot of characters. They changed that guy that sings "Be a Man."
Okay.
Yeah, like I forget exactly how, but I think they ended up either taking him out or gender swapping him or something.
What? How?
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know.
What? No, he's one of the main characters. You can't gender swap him unless you go in a completely different direction. But then if he's a commander in the military, so like he'd have to be.
Well, I don't. No.
Secretly pretending.
I don't think
that takes the whole point of Mulan. The whole point of Mulan is that she's the only one. That's why I like the film so much. She's the only one. She's spectacular because the society was saying you need to be this, and she goes, "I'm going to do this for my family," and she does something really dangerous, really secret. Like the fact that she isn't killed for what she does is amazing. So I'm like, that's the really cool thing about her character. It's kind of why I hate Liv Tyler in Lord of the Rings, because it cheapens Éowyn. If all these female elves are just going around and it's like just a normal thing, it cheapens the fact that Éowyn is like the one person who steps up and does that, you know?
Yeah.
So that would drive me up a wall. I gotta look this up. This is actually irritating me. They can't take him out. He's one of the main characters.
Yeah, I know. My wife. I was actually talking to my wife about it, and I read the article. I forget exactly what it says, but like, she was saying that they changed a bunch of things, and she's really upset because she loves that movie. And it just seems like they're changing a ton about it.
I'm looking it up now. Casting details. I don't want to the release date. Will there be music? That's good. Oh, I don't know. Who stars Mulan? I don't care. who will star as Li Shang. There is no Li Shang. What?
Yeah, see, they're like adding and switching up characters. There's a new villain who's a witch, and she's being played
they replaced him by Chen Hugai. What's Mandarin Chinese trapping? Cocky and handsome. Who has another recruit who joins Commander Tongs? Okay.
Yeah. But they're also like they're adding
bullying streak.
they're
like,
adding
what?
a brand new villain who's a witch.
Oh, that's upsetting. I don't know, man. I like Li Shang a lot more than because they're describing him as like cocky and like mean and everything else. I'm like that's kind of an interesting, but I think Li Shang being more stoic, being more like, being this commander that's not ready for combat is far more interesting than I'm gonna prove myself and I'm cocky and I'm just another. No. He's like a commander that his father gave him command. His father dies. And now he's in charge. He's like, what the frick do we do? We are undermanned, undertrained. It's like this is so much. That's so much cooler than. So I don't know.
We'll see.
But like I said, I'm not gonna see it. So what do I care?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna see it now because we're doing this podcast. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Sure, I'll see it. What'd you think of Mulan, Zach? Oh, I thought it was something. What'd you think of Pacific Rim 2, Zach? Well, I definitely saw it. That's for sure. That's what I think of it.
All right, continuing on. Jake Gyllenhaal has confirmed that he will not be the next Batman after Ben Affleck. So we're not entirely sure.
If they get like John Hamm, it's like stop with the old people. You're gonna have to replace him in another 5 years anyway. Yeah,
seriously. But I think Gyllenhaal like was really obvious in the fact that he's really not interested in the role at all. So we'll see where it goes. We're still not entirely sure if Ben Affleck will be coming back for the Batman or not.
Oh, he's stepping down. Like definitely stepping down.
Is he?
Oh yeah. He's not interested anymore.
All right, fair enough. Well, yeah. I guess we know who the Batman will not be. And that is Mr. Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal,
yeah. In other DC news, we have a decent amount of DC news this week too. Same as last week. There are a lot of set photos from the live-action Teen Titans TV series.
Yeah, I saw them.
Did you see all of them?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Then I don't have to send them to you. Featuring Beast Boy, Raven, and Starfire in what seems to be at least partial costume. They haven't been through post yet. And then we see one with Dick Grayson in person wear, general people clothes.
Right.
And previously we've also seen official pictures of Robin in his costume and Hawk and Dove in costume.
Which the costumes look really good. I'm surprised for a TV show. The budget looks really good on this. So 10 out of 10 for the costume so far.
Yeah.
Everyone's losing the crap about how Raven and Beast Boy look, and I'm like, it's fine. it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Well, I thought the main outrage was that they made Starfire black.
Oh, did they?
Did you not see that?
I didn't know it was Starfire. That's fine. I mean, so if they change her character, then it's still fine. And just if you keep her the peppy character, because you need it to balance out. You need the more peppy character to balance out Raven.
Raven.
And Robin. Yep. And that's why you need, and Cyborg and Beast Boy need to be more lighthearted too. But then you have Cyborg, and Cyborg's the most interesting character, and they're not going to have him in this show, are they?
I don't think so. I think Hawk and Dove are going to be in there. I don't know if they've released the full actual outline, but well, Hawk and Dove are interesting in the Justice League animated series that they had like one episode in. I don't know if you've seen that, but like it was part of the it was part of the Batman animated series universe. Hawk and Dove had an episode, so all right. Well, we'll see. I mean.
See, Cyborg is one of the best parts of that Teen Titans show. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is because they made him a big player, putting him in the Justice League and all that.
Yeah, put him in Teen Titans because he sucked in Justice League. He was really boring. Now put him in Teen Titans where he's really interesting.
I meant just like in the universe of DC. I mean, he's not part of the original. He's not part of the Teen Titans in the comics, and he's not. He's not.
Well, I like
he's
him
part
in
of the Justice League. So.
Well, I like him in the comics as, in the Justice League in the comics. I like him. I think he's great there. But, that's because he in my opinion, besides maybe Robin, he is by far one of the most interesting characters. Oh, they're all really interesting characters. Yeah, but I do think he's by far the most complex and interesting character because he is so lighthearted at times, but then at times he'll go... You kind of get like an in-depth look. You see him struggling with the fact that he can't push his limits anymore. That's a really good episode if you ever watched Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not human and just he's a conflicted character, but he's also, not brooding like Robin is at times. So I really, really like him as a character.
Yeah.
He's probably one of my favorite characters from that show. So. Then I say that and I immediately go like, oh, but Raven's a conflicted character, and I think Starfire is probably the least conflicted character and least interesting. She has some cool moments, but by far I think she's probably the most one-dimensional character.
Yeah, they might give the cyborg role of like questioning because she's not human then to her then, given that
maybe.
She's like an alien,
Yeah, but I mean, what would you care if you're an alien? You're going, oh, I'm not human. It'd be like me like stepping on the street one day and be like, I'm not a fish. It's like, yeah, of course I'm not. Calm down. I don't fit in with the fish people. You sure don't. It's like, all right.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
When this comes out eventually. I'm tentatively excited for parts of this.
Sure.
So we'll see how it goes. Moving over to DC Comics, Injustice will be crossing over with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe for a 6-issue miniseries.
Neat.
Have you been keeping up with the Injustice comic run?
Nope.
Cool, me neither. But it's happening. So, next thing. And last bit of news before a couple trailers. We last week we mentioned the Bat Wedding and how we'll probably make that topic when it comes out. But DC recently sent out invitations to the wedding to everyone. Zach, you are invited, and I am invited to the Bat Wedding.
I actually declined. I'm going to be busy that weekend.
Dang it.
Yeah.
You have to RSVP with Alfred by June 1st. So
I don't want to. So.
But yeah, it was really cool because they made this invitation that looks pretty legit, and it's basically it announces the day that the comic will be coming out, but it also has the list of comics or issues leading up to the Bat Wedding issue, and so nice. it's kind of like a mini event. It's pretty cool. I thought it was like a clever way to announce that.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 trailers mainly that I want to talk about. One was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom got a final trailer, which actually changed my mind a little bit about it because it kind of showed that potentially some or most of this film will happen in the real world.
So we're doing Jurassic Park 2 again. Great.
But I think that would be cooler than just we got to get them off the island. But I mean that's Jurassic Park 2 as well.
I mean you've kind of done everything you can do with Jurassic Park at this point, but they're gonna redo it because money.
Yeah. I'm slightly more interested in this now. So going from like a -4, I'm now at like a -2. So. Nice. And then the other main trailer that happened was Incredibles 2 got a second trailer. Which
I thought we talked about that last week.
Did we? I don't think we did.
I thought so. No.
Maybe we did. Anyway, it's just more of the same basically, but that same is pretty awesome. So. Yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
All right, so before we go into our topic, we need to talk about a fun thing, Zach. We need to continue our fun thing. So this is continuing our Disney Animation versus Disney Pixar bracket leading up to Incredibles 2. This week, we're going to start with Frozen versus Moana.
Moana wins. Moana wins hands down.
I
dislike
before
Frozen
we do this,
deeply.
I wanted to go back. I watched Coco.
We can't go back. It's too late. No, it's too late. We have to stay where we have. We have to stay the course.
No, I'm changing it.
Yeah, you can't change it. It's too late, Dante. Dante, you are breaking the rules of this podcast.
I don't care. I made the rules.
Dante, there's no.
I made this segment. I get to choose.
No, you don't.
Coco was good.
You can't go back. That's it. You done it.
You said last week that we could go back. and I'm going back.
I was lying to appease you.
I don't care.
Now I'm revealing the fact that
it.
I was the secret mastermind behind everything all along. You can't go back.
I don't care. I'm going back. I have control of the YouTube channel. I have control of this audio.
You do have the control of the editing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can edit all this down. Just have me say, "Sure, Dante, you can do the thing," and no one will know.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna change it, at least for me, because Coco was pretty good. It was pretty predictable as far as like the Pixar formula, but it was still the Pixar formula which works. So it was good. It was better than Cars 2.
I'm gonna stay with Cars 2.
All right, we finally have to do 2 different brackets.
I'm sure we will on this one as well. I've looked at it and I'm like, we're definitely gonna disagree on some stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next, Toy Story 3 versus The Good Dinosaur.
Let's see. Toy Story 3.
Yep, definitely. I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur, and I don't want to because I didn't hear good things. Yep. And finally, Aladdin versus Hercules.
Oh, no. I like both of these a lot.
I haven't seen Hercules, so I'm going to say Aladdin.
Oh, no. You haven't seen Hercules? What's wrong with you?
I've heard, like some of my friends say it's great, and then some of my other friends are like, this is not that great. So
go watch Hercules this week. You can find it easily. Oh boy.
I'm saying Aladdin.
I'll send you a link. Oh my goodness. No, Aladdin's great. I love Aladdin, but I also love Hercules.
But Robin Williams.
Yeah, I know. Nice warm welcome. I'm gonna go Aladdin. Unfortunately.
Yay. All right. Now we can talk about our topics, Zach.
We actually have 2 topics this week, and it's all revolving around films. First and foremost, we're going to talk about our favorite experiences working on a film.
Yeah,
because both of us have worked. Yeah, both of us have worked on productions in the past. We've worked together on productions in the past. These are all short films we've done ourselves, indie films, if you will. That's all on YouTube too. If anyone ever wants to see it, we'll put up links or whatever.
Yeah, I can put a link to the big one in the description.
Well, we'll talk about the ones we really enjoyed working on. So there's some that I haven't posted that I might, depending on how people react to us talking about it.
Our 4 viewers.
Yeah, our 4 viewers, but we've expanded. We've added.
We've expanded people, a little bit. We now have 8 viewers.
Hey man, if those 8 viewers, I know for a fact, I want to give a shout out to Nate Bundy, because I know for a fact he's listened to us at least a couple times. Because I'll say something on the podcast and he'll be like, oh yeah, no, like he'll reference things from the podcast and I'll do like a double take and realize he actually listens to us. So
I'm so happy now.
Shout out to him.
I know that Nate listens to me rant about movies. I'm so happy. Hi Nate.
So so shout out to Nate Bundy.
Shout out to Nate Bundy.
I don't know how much he listens to. I just know he's listened at least once, and so I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
So let's start with you. Let's start with some of your favorite moments, some of the best things that happened, funniest things that happened, most frustrating things that happened.
All right. Well, I want to start by mentioning that while I only recently have been working on more professional student films, mostly with you. Before that, when I was a kid, I would, when I had some friends over, I'd go in the backyard and make like these long recordings of us being like Jedi and whatever. And I never touched them afterwards because I didn't know how to edit. But so this has always been something that I've done. But really, I think I've only worked on, besides like small projects for class and everything, I think I've only worked on like 2 or 3 major projects with you. I don't know, man. I mean, I always had a blast in pre-production, like specifically when we were figuring out what the story was.
Yeah.
I
want to talk about some of these stories because a lot of people don't get to see what it's like behind the scenes of making these little short films. So I kind of want to talk about that. Do you want to start with Alumni? I think that was the first film we worked on together.
Oh, remind me. Sorry, my memory's faulty.
Alumni was the student film that I made and that we shot in a week. It was a 17-minute film that we shot in a week.
Oh, is that the one
Remember?
with Josiah and?
Yeah, with Josiah and Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that one, I wasn't part of the story making process.
No, you weren't.
I came in later as Mr.
You were
Cinematographer.
my assistant director and cinematographer. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And you did good up until you came up behind the car and we could see your reflection in the car.
To be fair, to be fair, I pointed that out.
You did, and I was like, "We'll fix it in post."
Like,
and I said my famous phrase, "We'll fix it in post." And I never
did.
fix it in post. No,
it was a great shot. Besides that, so describing the shot,
yeah.
Essentially, it was like I had to. The main character of that was played by Josiah was running out of one of the dorms on campus, and he'd run down. There's like two sets of like 4 steps down to this path, and then like a few feet more, and then onto the road. And so the scene we had set up was that Josiah would bust out the doors, run down to the road, and then a car would pull up right next to him, and somebody, a character played by Christian, would jump out, grab him, and throw him in the van and drive away.
Yeah.
And my job as the cinematographer was to follow Josiah through that whole thing, and then follow the car as it drove away. And it was a great shot, except for the fact that I caught myself in the rear view, in the rear window of the car.
Well, the thing was, and you brought that up to me at the very end, or like, okay, now we want to say, you didn't tell me immediately. You told me like when we had packed up the stuff, if I remember correctly.
Well,
you came. I think we were inside. Literally, I think we were inside.
No,
and I was telling you, good job, and you were like, "Oh, well, by the way."
I remember we were outside. No, we were outside.
Outside. Well, okay. The thing was was that we were trying to get that shot, man, and it was going. We were losing sunlight. We were losing
light. That was the big thing.
We were losing light, and then the shot was taking forever. And then also security started showing up because we were driving up, throwing a guy in a. We didn't have permission to do this, and we just kind of like threw a guy in the van and drove off.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember. Like I think it was after it was already getting really dark, but I remember specifically with that project, we would always kind of look through the shots that we got like right there just to see what we got, but with that one it was kind of like we didn't really have an option, and also you were like post.
I am notorious for saying I'll fix it in post and then hating myself in post. But no, I remember we had a lot of fun shooting. We had a good old giggle fest, and then I wanted to kill myself when I was editing because I edited the whole thing in one day.
That sounds awful.
Not very well either. Have you ever seen the film, by the way?
No, you never showed it to me.
I never posted it. Because it's one of the few films that I wasn't happy with. I was so unhappy with it, I never posted it.
Well, you were happy with like the first few minutes.
The first 1 minute was great. Or it was okay. It was very like snappy and action packed. So the guy like gets up, sees his roommate, like doesn't know where the frick he is. So his roommate's like, "Hey, calm down," grabs him. The guy turns around, decks him in the face, runs out the door, and then we have him bursting through the dorm door, and then alarms are going off, and he's looking around and running down the stairs. Yep. And then the car comes squealing by, cuts him off, and someone jumps out of the car and throws him in the car, and they drive off, and then 15 minutes of dialogue ensue, and then the thing ends. So it was a little like, I liked the library scene. I thought the library scene was fun.
That was really good.
Yeah. Other than that, it was kind of there was a lot of like little mistakes that were made. Like you could see our equipment in the background a couple times. Because it was just like there was so much. I wasn't sleeping either at that time, which is a trait of mine when I'm working on these films. It was just so much to do in such a little time, you know.
Yeah, and it was there was a lot going on. I remember the library scene was a lot of fun to shoot. Just trying to figure out how to make the villain was played by John. How to make him look really menacing, and then we figured out, we could put the light behind him.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
He had a Southern plantation owner voice for some reason.
It was amazing.
But the thing is, he got more Southern as the thing went on, and I didn't notice it at first until I rewatched it. And as I'm watching, like his takes are becoming more and more Southern. He starts out with a slight Southern accent. It gets very Southern by the end. I was like, "Oops, should have cut that out."
But I remember that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun shooting that.
Now I think we should talk about our the two of us together, whatever we want to call our endeavors together, if it's production company or whatever. I think magnum opus by far, the most viewed video we ever made was The Man Who Laughs.
Yeah, it is. So I had a blast doing the alumni video, and then after that, I think, did I come to you with this idea? I think I came to you. Yeah, and I was like, Zach, I had a ton of fun. I was like, I had a ton of fun doing that film because it was really the first time like I said, I had done that on a slightly more professional level. And I was like, hey, what if we did a Joker fan film?
I'm looking it up right now to see how many
views we have now.
Yeah.
I went to Zach and I was like, what if we did a Joker fan film? And then we ended up brainstorming, which is one of my favorite parts of all of these endeavors, is just bouncing ideas back and forth against you.
Right.
It's a ton of fun brainstorming because that's kind of the stage where it's like, all right, you have this vague concept of an idea. You have an inkling of an idea, and then from there you get to build a story, And originally we had like this long idea for like a 30-minute fan film of like the Joker dealing with mob bosses in Gotham City and stuff, and it was more focused on the psychology of the Joker and less focused on Batman, which I thought was a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And then for various reasons we ended up just doing a very choreoed fight scene with the Joker, which was still really cool.
Yeah, but after the I think after I was done with that, I remember walking away from it and saying I'm not doing I just remember saying I'm not going to do the full one, because by the end of it, and it wasn't anyone's fault. It wasn't like it was a bad I had a lot of fun on this production. It was I wasn't sleeping. I think that was a big thing.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, like, this doesn't really hit me as much, but for a lot of people involved in the production, it was weird, but like kind of the darkness of the character affected them.
Yeah, I mean that was a little bit too. And I was also working on working on a horror film at the same time. And I remember for like 2 weeks I was editing all night. I would edit until 3 a.m. until security kicked me out of the editing room, and I'd be back at 6. I'd go back and sleep for 2.5 hours or whatever. And go back at 6, and then go through classes all day, and then I'd go back and get back to editing, and I would just not sleep most days, and then and the whole time I'm doing this, and I'm editing the scenes where we're punching Tyler in the face till he's dead, type thing, which was a delight to watch, obviously, but at the same time,
I will say, I think for our first time doing a really choreographed fight scene, I think we did pretty well. And our big inspiration, our big inspiration for that was a lot of the Netflix Daredevil series.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think our inspiration for doing a fight scene like that was at least my inspiration. I thought that was yours too.
I don't really think so.
It was like for me it was seeing the Daredevil hallway scene, and then also I think I referenced some of a few other things too, but
I mean, for me it was more some of the guys from Bat in the Sun. I saw some of their work, and
that was
enjoyed. We even admittedly we even based the character off of the character's design off of I'm watching it now actually, and some of the cinematography, I gotta say, I'm like, that was some of the best cinematography I'd ever come up with. Specifically when he walks out of the shadows, I was like, I do remember coming up with that early on, and I was very proud of that because that's one of my that was one of the best shots I've ever made.
That was a great shot. It came out amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, and then we did the color correction as well, and I had a couple versions, which the whites and the blacks were like really pumped up, and it was a little too much, so we kind of settled on something else. But no, when we were working on the project, I mean, that was easily one of the most expensive projects I ever worked on. For everyone, you included. I think everyone kind of chipped in there a little bit.
Yeah, and it was probably the longest too, because we had this one when we shot it. We did like a major long shoot of like 5 hours.
It was and it was like 5 or 6 hours, and
it was
part of that too. Yeah, we did it in one night because we didn't have enough hairspray.
And
I mean, no one had time.
I was going out for the week.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, that was another thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know when you work on when you work on a film, you want to plan accordingly, right? You know, you make your schedule and everything because the actors are tough to get a hold of sometimes, especially when they're students. So you make all your plans. You say we're going to do this over the course of 2 nights, and then your cinematographer, one of your cinematographer, one of your actors, and your co-director comes up to you and says, "Oh, by the way." And he goes, "Oh, I'm also not going to be here for all the days we're supposed to be shooting." And I just figured I'd tell you now. And I'm like, "Oh."
Well, part of it was I didn't know.
I didn't kill you. I want to point out that Christian charity because I was so mad. I was like unbelievably mad. I remember hanging up on you, and then you called a couple times and I wouldn't pick up because I was so angry with you.
Yeah. No, it was bad
because I mean, it was for me. It was like it was a lot of money I'd put into this as well, and then you were just like, "Whoops!" And I'm like, "Oh, whoops!" And you know, like the eye was like twitching, and you know.
No, yeah, definitely, and I'll take the blame for that. Definitely.
All the blame. No, yeah, no, you don't have a choice. I'm giving you the blame.
I know.
On air, I'm handing you the blame.
This doesn't make it any better, but I also didn't know for a long time, but
you were supposed to know, Dante.
I know, but it worked out. It was fun.
It was fine. It was fine. We worked it out that night, so it was fine.
I've probably had the most fun working on a project on that one specifically.
Yeah,
except for the previs for the boxer.
The previous for the boxer, but let's get into that in a second here because I kind of want to talk about this film a little more.
Okay. Because it's on YouTube. We'll post a link in the description.
Yeah. So we end up we did this in 6 weeks. We took 6 weeks from production to completion. The pre-production to completion, it was 6 weeks.
Yeah. And it was a lot of really fun weekends going to like one of the areas on campus where they had mats and everything, and just laying out choreo and repeating it, and that was a lot of fun planning out the choreo for the fights. It was like, oh well, what if we had him, knee him here or like punch him in the face there? And it was like, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we didn't want any kind of like wrestling type thing. It was very much like, and that was the thing too, was that the Joker was supposed to have his own moveset. That was a thing.
Yeah, we designed his own fighting style specifically for this, which I think turned out pretty well.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm looking at some of the shots now. I'm like, I wish I'd turned that light off. And I didn't. There's some stuff I didn't like turn off that I really should have, but we also had stuff back there for different scenes. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish I had there's some stuff that you notice in later on that you can't go back and fix.
Well, you can't go back, so.
No, you can't. But the action was significantly better than anything we'd ever done at that point. We practiced it like day in, day out. The Joker had a very specific style. He was, we did kind of like the drunken fist style from, actually don't know what movie it's from. I apologize. It's from a Jackie Chan movie I watched. And it's this idea, it's like, it looks really sloppy, but it's actually very precise. So we tried to do that. I don't know that we succeeded as well as I would have liked with it, but we did kind of build his style around that. His arms are constantly like on the ground, and then they come up really quick. And
I think we built it. I mean, obviously we could have done better with a number of things, but I mean, just looking at what we did do, I think we accomplished some like pretty something that was pretty good. And I think it was really fun coming up with that because we were like, well, it's the Joker. How is he gonna fight? Because he's kind of not a traditional fighter. And then we were like, oh, well, what if he's just kind of nonchalantly going around, drunken fist style, and he's just his hands are at his side or whatever, and then like when he needs to, he'll come up and everything. And it's just, I think it really we really got into the psychology of the character for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were planning on doing a bigger one, and that's.
We were planning on doing a full 30-minute film.
And I want to shout out to the actor who plays the Joker. It's going to be a pastor. And we made him we just did such a violent role with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at some of the cinematography. Cinematography looks good. It's there's a couple shots a little stilted for me. Not in some of the planning that I did with it. Not execution, but some of how I planned it.
Part of it too was that we didn't have a ton of time for blocking.
That's true.
I think it comes out a little bit in the film.
You're knocking him over, and then your glasses is disappearing. That's always.
Yeah, I know.
And then you hit him there. Yeah, I'm watching it right now, and you see the bloody brass knuckles slide across the ground. You see his hand covered in blood, and then one of my favorite shots is when he breaks your neck. It's just terrifying. I for a long time I had it as my background on my computer.
You were so mad at me over the production.
No. It was just
had a picture of my neck.
No,
snapping.
It was just like I'll probably share a screenshot on the page what I'm referring to. It's just like how it's almost like terrifying what we did with that because we had you see him holding your broken head in his hands
for like a second, and then he just drops.
And it's just and his eyes, and the way we did it was that the white of his skin really pops, but the eyes are so dark. There's nothing there. Yeah, and it's this looks terrifying. So this was one of my favorite shots in the film.
It was great. I want to mention briefly what we did with what we could call a marketing campaign, I guess.
We marketed the film better than the film actually was.
Yeah,
I want to point that out.
We had a Facebook page, and we would post it on it every I think you did it 2 weeks leading up to its release or something like that.
Right.
It was a few weeks beforehand, and what we did is the night that we shot, we had a photographer on campus come in and take a few professional
Jess Eddy.
pictures.
I'm gonna give her a shout out.
Jessica Eddy.
Yeah, she did an absolutely fantastic job for us.
She did amazing. And basically what we did is we took a bunch of various pictures of things kind of teasing it. We did a picture of my dead hand on the floor, and then we did the bloody brass knuckles, and then we had a picture of the smile of the Joker, and we did one of the knife. We can also talk about
this too. Is I'm not saying that you're married because of me, but I would like to say that you did meet your wife. You guys started hanging out because of this film.
This is true.
This is true.
I want to finish real quick talking about the marketing before I jump.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go into that after.
No, but that it was a lot of fun because it was all right.
I still have some of the images.
We were teasing it with different bits and pieces, and then the final image you revealed was just the smile. It's just a picture of a lower half of Josiah's face, and as he's smiling with full makeup on and everything. And that marketing campaign was awesome and terrifying.
It worked great. People
worked
were
amazing.
Really it was the first film I'd ever released where the audience was cheering for it before. The audience started cheering at the title. I don't know if you were there for the screening. I know you showed up.
I was.
When we won the award.
Well, I showed up after the screening. No, I was after the screening, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you showed up for the award and surprised me, and it was great. That was actually that
totally
was
messed up
really
your
great
speech, and I'm sorry.
That was a great moment. I really was.
Okay,
I was super
quick.
happy.
So what happened is a little bit ago I said that I bailed on the project because I had a week-long robotics competition, and we made it to Worlds. So I was going to St. Louis to do that. I came back, and the night of was the night of the awards, and I was like, "Mom, drive me to campus." So she drove me to campus as fast as she could, and I got in there as one of the films was finishing. I think it was one of Jack's old films, and then he started doing awards, and I sat in the back, and Zach had no idea I was coming. He was expecting me not to be there, and then he goes up for our film, and I just run up on stage behind him, and he has no idea, and then he turns around and sees me, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And then we did a bro hug.
We got a big hug, and it was great. I think I literally said that Dante couldn't be here. And then someone pointed behind me, and I looked behind, and there you were, and it was great. It was absolutely great.
I love that.
That was a great surprise. I was super happy to see you because I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to take this award alone.
Because you already had to do.
You didn't mess up my speech. Jack didn't let me give the speech. I had accepted a reward for a previous film right before. I had accepted a reward for the horror film I had worked on. And so I gave him a speech there because the director that I was working with wasn't there. So I accepted the award on his behalf. Thanked everyone. And And then I went up in the second time, and I remember walking off stage and going, okay, we must not have won, because there's no way Jack would let me walk off stage, go back to the booth where I was working, because I was actually running the event.
Yeah.
Without, I'm like, there's no way he let me do this.
Just to call
without
you back
just
up.
letting me keep me up there. And as I reach the booth, I go, no, wait, that's exactly what he'd do. And I hear the man who laughs, and I'm like, fuck you, Jack. So I turn around and run back up, and
then it was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic to work on. The actors were great to work with. They were a lot of fun.
And the people that helped us with choreo too, who ended up
absolutely.
most
Tyler
of them
Gilbert, for example. Yeah,
and then Christian as well, and Mark.
Yeah. And Mark, absolutely. There were people that were supposed to be in the film that didn't work out because of scheduling issues, but they were absolutely, they were very, very helpful. With the choreography, Yeah, I mean, getting the props involved, getting the fake blood, and I remember we got sausage, I think.
Yeah, so we had a section where like he punches a man's face in, Tyler's.
Pretty much, and gore coming up, and
and we were trying to work it out so you'd see brains coming up on the thing, but it didn't really work.
It didn't really work out, unfortunately, but we did have it was a little chunky, the blood at times, so
it was all right. It was fine.
It stuck with people because I was accused of being demon possessed after releasing this film by a couple people. And my parents still make fun of me for making just like the goriest film ever, and I'm like, you only see blood. You literally only see blood twice, 2 or 3 times in the entire film, and it's only a little bit. You don't. It's just it's.
There's some on his hand, and then there's some on his teeth.
Yeah, and there's some. Oh yeah, and there's some on the bat.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not like splattering or anything. It's just there.
No, yeah, it's the blood is far more implied. I think the bones cracking was what really got people.
your sound effects were very loud and just very prominent. Like it wasn't like a slight. It was like crack.
It was really loud. Yeah, and the thing was, like, we tried to make it more down to earth, and it just wasn't working. So we said, let's go balls to the walls and just like, because I mean, originally too, the music was going to be more classical. And
it was
really
gonna be like a really creepy classical song, and then we're like, this doesn't feel right.
Anything.
Yeah, so then we ended up running with the Joker and the Thief.
The Joker,
the Thief in the Night. Yeah, I forget the band.
The Joker and the Thief is the Joker and the Thief, and we ended up going with that because it was a little obvious, but Jack suggested it to us, and we were like, no, and then we listened to it and we said, actually, we really like that. Because it kind of had that kind of like weirdly upbeat feel with going with these horrible like visuals,
And it fit. It fit so well. And it was. Forgot what I was gonna say, but that song fit perfectly. Oh, the beats in that song almost fit perfectly with the beats we had in the choreo. If you timed it right. And that was really cool. Once he steps out of the shadows, it's like the drums going dun 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 dun, and then he starts fighting, and it gets into the rhythm of like dun 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 dun, And I thought that was really cool.
As soon as he smiles, you the drums kick in.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then he steps out of the shadows. Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. I apologize.
And then he starts fighting, and it gets into the guitar riff that's like the main melody, and it worked perfectly in my opinion.
And what a lot of people don't know is that I found out. Oh my god! It just stopped on a really creepy image, and that's the nice thing too is that the whole film has lots of really cool screenshots that I really enjoy.
And I think that's part of what adds to the picture campaign that we did.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the funny thing was that I'm sitting here recording. I'm sitting here watching it again. I'm remembering things like a lot of people don't know. All the dialogue was ADR. It was additional dialogue recording. All the and I want to give praise to your wife. His wife played Harley Quinn. We'll get into that story in a second. Where I honestly thought I don't know if I ever told her this, but I honestly thought she and Josiah were going to end up together. I thought that my Joker and my Harley were going to end up.
There was a little bit of that.
I thought so too. So
that's a funny story.
We'll get into that later. But. We might just make this our main topic because I know we're also running at like 1:10 at this moment. So it's and I'm ready to keep talking, and we still have the box to talk about. So we might want to go
I kind of do, but I also we'll see.
We'll see how long it goes.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of people don't know it's ADR, and so that's props to the actors who did an absolutely phenomenal job. Specifically, your wife, Josiah did a great job. Took us a couple takes, but we got it. He had more lines too, admittedly.
Yeah.
But your wife literally got both takes down perfect in one take. I honestly did. I did 2 takes. One for one for safety, but she got both of her dialogue recordings done in one take. I was really impressed, and it was the first take I used too. So,
I think you told me that too back when you were doing it. You were like, yeah, she did perfectly.
So legitimate props to your wife. Her lip syncing was great. I think she had a great Harley Quinn voice. She also designed the costumes for us. She worked on the costume design with us.
Yeah, she was part of it from the beginning, as Josiah was. Everyone that we have in the film and everybody that was working on choreo and everything was part of the process from early on.
There was no one was just an actor. No one was just
as with any student film.
We literally it was the 5 of us. That's what it was, and we have photos of it. Which ones I want to get into the story about the photo we used to view that one night, but we'll get into that. we'll get into that. But I mean, all of the 5 of us, we all did everything. It was a lot of us.
A lot of us had like multiple roles. Like I was actor, cinematographer, and co-director. Yeah. You were actor. You're senior director.
You were a producer as well. And so was Cassie by definition. So it was like oh well, I guess she was costume design, whatever. So we all had like 15 roles, and Gilbert was our main choreographer. Really helped work on that stuff with us, and even when I had ideas, I'd go to him and talk to him, and be like, would this work? What do you think? And so he choreographed his own he worked with us, and we kind of like worked together on the choreography, and he was there working with me. Even when no one else was able to be there, type thing. So it was really awesome. He donated a bat, which we lost immediately, and I ended up finding it. We did find it. It was in the prop room.
We found the bat.
We found the bat. So that was and when it came to the costume, I remember. Going back really quick. Yeah, everyone, the 5 of us were really. We did everything. There was no one who was just an actor,
Yeah, there was no one that fulfilled just one role.
And then obviously we had some great people that came in and helped outside of the 5 of us. Specifically, Josiah's sister came in and did the makeup, and she did a fantastic job.
Incredible.
Blew me away. Super great.
Like,
and
it was just the Joker on set. Like there was no fixing it in post or anything. What he looks like in the film, besides a little color correction. Is what was on the set.
Yeah. Like, I pushed up the black, because it was nice that we had a black stage, because that added so much to the light, but I pushed the lights in the black a little bit, but the majority of it was the makeup, and she did a great job.
It was really funny. A funny story. We, it was afterwards. We went to Denny's with the Joker.
That's right, yeah.
And it was so much fun. And Harley Quinn, yeah. We went to Denny's with Joker and Harley Quinn. And Josiah was just being weird, like scraping his plate with his fork and making the really annoying sound and everything. Like, he was playing it up as the Joker, and we're just it was 2 a.m. at Denny's.
It was great. It was a grand old time when we went. And yeah, I mean, I had an absolutely fantastic time filming all that. And we went to Denny, and then the waitress was like, "Oh, my son or daughter loves these characters," and I think she took photos with the waitress too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
The waitress was great. Your wife designed. We said, we want to do our own Harley Quinn, because I'm remember correctly.
So I guess we can tell the story
Harley. Now. What?
I think we can. I guess it's like time I could tell that story, and then it'll lead into that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, can I bring up the?
Sure. Go ahead.
Really quick. I remember. So we obviously couldn't do the typical costume for Harley Quinn. We were like, we're not gonna put Harley Quinn in like hot pants. This is not happening. So we were like, we had Cassie design, and we got this kind of like pseudo goth Harley Quinn that I loved. It was great. Like the red. It's dyed her hair. Yeah.
It's very similar to the Harley Quinn from the Batman Telltale game.
Telltale games.
But that came out after we made this film.
Yeah, it did. It did, and I sent him an image, and I was like, "This is our design. We did this. This is we made this design."
No, yeah, like it was really funny.
I'm like, you're I'm like, who do we sue? this is like almost like two. You guys need to watch the. You guys have to watch. She has that Harley has blonde hair. I get that. Ours had dark hair, but still.
Yeah, no, I've played the game, man. I've seen it. She's like, it's almost the same design.
It's eerily similar, and I'm like, who are we suing about this?
You stole our design. Although to be fair, it's pretty cool. That video that has it's pretty cool that Telltale
has 700 videos.
700.
No, I mean obviously in all
obviously they didn't, but
obviously in all seriousness, it's they didn't steal the design, but it is cool that we had come up with this design that's now being used elsewhere, and it's like, that's neat that we kind of thought the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's cool to see
cool
that.
Coincidence, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you. I want to tell one more story that was wonderful that came out of this, and then I'm gonna let you tell your story about meeting your wife and everything through this process.
Okay.
But the one story I wanted to tell was we like I said, going back to Jess Eddy, you know, she got us these fantastic photos. She's an absolutely phenomenal photographer.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the photos, we were going through some of the photos one night, and we have like 500. She gave us so many, and we didn't post them all. So we might post some more later on, just to kind of like, hey, remember these? You know.
Yeah.
But one of the photos, we noticed there was a group shot, and we had like 20 or 30 of these group shot photos. And we're going through, and it's like, no, like Gilbert's blinking here, and I'm blinking there, and I'm backwards over this one, you know. Dante was like perfect every time, and we couldn't figure out why. We were like rapidly going through the photos, and he's not changing. Like everyone's changing around him, but he won't move. And I'm like, I'm trying so hard. Like he's like, why? Like, how did he do this? But then there was one photo, which we will be posting on the Positive and Negative podcast. The Negative to Positive podcast. There was one photo, where he was kind of sticking his tongue out a little bit. Like
I licked my lips in between takes, and so I guess my tongue was either coming out or going in. I'm in my room with Schaefer and a couple other, like 5 or 6 other guys, and you have all these guys,
and I want to give
picture.
And yeah, it was a bunch of us, and we were like, we were all trying to find a photo where you messed up, and we finally found one. And so we took the photo, and we were like, okay, we gotta do something about this. And to his credit, Schaefer said, hey, we should all share. We should all change our profile picture
on Facebook
to this photo. So it started with like 6 of us. We all changed our picture to Dante.
And you could do on Facebook at that time. You could do this thing called a nickname, and you nicknamed yourselves Dante, so everybody was called Dante.
We're not in the chat. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay,
other people started noticing. Even people we didn't invite. Other people started noticing that we were doing that.
Like Freddie and Noel.
And so Freddie, Noel, Brie Giles, like all these people started noticing that we're changing our photos. So by the end of the night, there's like 17 people who had all changed their photos to this picture of you.
I have to tell my side of the story after you get to the chat.
You will. Don't get me wrong. So we create a chat, and we invite all the people. We get Cassie to do it as well. His wife now.
We weren't dating at the time.
We all have the.
We were just friends.
You weren't at that point, but we all changed the photo, and then we found out we can change our names in the thing. So we have this huge chat of like 17 people, and we all have the name Dante. And so we all have the same photo of Dante.
And you all have the same name of Dante.
And we're adding people to the thing.
So
and we're going, you should join. And it's like one of us.
So basically what happened is like just this mass amount of people just decided to steal my identity at the same time. So there's a group of like 20 Dantes, and then what they did is they built a chat. They made a chat of Dantes, and they're like, one of us, all is like, Dante.
And we're like legitimately up until like 5 a.m. doing this, and we invite him to the thing, and if I remember correctly, we nicknamed you Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
And you eventually joined, and we're like, oh, hail!
All hail Supreme Dante. So, okay, my side of this story. Like I said, for the week leading up to when we got this award, I was at Worlds. So I was in St. Louis at Worlds. And this is when you guys are going through these pictures and doing some of the promo stuff and everything. And fun fact, as you guys are doing this promo stuff, I'm showing this to my friends on the robotics team. Like, hey, guys, check this out. We're making this film.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So, one freaking morning, and what was weird too, it was like April 1st.
Yeah, it was.
It happened to be April 1st. I don't know if that was your plan or anything, but I woke up on like April 2nd, I think, or April 1st, one of them. I wake up in the hotel and I just look at my phone, right? And I just see this chat. This messenger chat just filled up my entire notifications for like forever, and I'm looking in and it's like all people named me, and I wake up and I'm just looking at my phone. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the literal crap? And then I open my messenger and I look through this chat. And it's all just like, and I found a way that I could recognize like who was who. And I'm just looking through and everybody's like, oh, hail Dante, Supreme Leader Dante. And I'm like, what the literal crap? And then I read through the entire thing.
Oh yeah, no, there was some not great.
Yeah, it got weird. And then weird. Noel started charging like an admittance fee into the army of Dante.
There's a tribute fee going on.
It was weird. That was the weirdest crap that's ever happened to me. Was just waking up to 20 people stealing my identity at the same time.
It was the best night, I remember, and I was so happy. And I woke up in the morning, and I
hopped on the chat and I was like, I am Supreme Leader Dante for a few minutes, and then I'm like, nah, I'm leaving this. Screw this. And it died out after a few days, but that was crazy.
It was something else, man.
Friggin' weird, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so is it time for the wife story?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So
I'm actually I'm gonna run for 2 seconds. I'll be back. Just imagine I'm still here.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell the story. So because of this project that we were working on, we knew we were gonna do like a Joker film, and we knew early on we were talking about whether or not we wanted to have Harley in it. When he came up with this cool idea of how we were going to include Harley, and we were like, well, who could play Harley? And at this point, I was friends with Cassie and Zach and I and Cassie and one of her friends Naomi would hang out a lot, and it was just this kind of small group, and so we knew her pretty well, and we knew that she really liked Harley Quinn, so we were like, all right, well, what if we get her to play Harley Quinn? And so we ended up approaching her about it, and she was really on board. She was like, yeah, I've always wanted to play Harley Quinn. It'd be a lot of fun. And so for the next about 3 months, we had this like exclusive friend group of like me, Zach, Cassie, and Naomi, and we'd hang out all the time. We'd talk about the Joker film a lot, and she ended up designing the costumes for us and everything, and it was really cool. And it made way for a really cool friendship to blossom. Yeah, and then she came up with we had ideas for the Joker costume and for the Harley costume, but we would go to her and be like, hey, do you want to design these? And she ended up designing the whole costume, and doing it really well. Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. And then she came up with the makeup for Harley Quinn all on her own. Are you back?
Yeah, I am a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, she came up with the makeup for Harley Quinn. She helped us a lot with the makeup for the Joker as well, and getting all that that stuff together. And it was really cool, and it ended up just it was like this group of 4 of us. It was me and you, Zach, and then Cassie and Naomi just hanging out a lot.
I think Josiah was in there for a while too.
He came in and out around when the film was. He was also busier, but yeah, it was just us 4, and we would hang out, and we'd go to like BAM and Dixon City, the park and everything.
Go on the swing set. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Me as a grown man who at 22 looks like he's 35 on in a playground for kids. Probably not good, but still.
But it was a lot of fun. And then near when what was cool was like Cassie and I started hanging out a little more just between the two of us. Specifically, we were gonna go see.
I want to air a grievance here. Because it wasn't you two decided to hang out together. It was you two still needed friends to make the excuse to hang out. That it's like, oh, we're all taking out friends.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that you two got alone. You'd bring us and then ditch us. So it'd be me and like,
I remember the one time in the mall. I feel bad about that time.
Yep, it was like everybody's gonna hang out, and then you just like left us, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, why? I want to be loved too, Dante.
And you were mad at me about that, and I had no idea what at the time, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, oh, that's why. I'm sorry, Zach.
No,
official
cool.
Apology.
I reject it, and I spit in your face.
You were mad at the time, like I could tell. Because we've been friends for about 3 years.
I wanted to hang out. You were like, let's go to the mall and hang
I
out.
know.
And you immediately ditched me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
I understand now, but at the time, I had no idea why you were upset. I'm like, what's wrong, man? But like now, I'm like, I was oblivious. But now I'm like,
you were in love.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But yeah, and then this I guess we started developing feelings for each other. And then one time we were going to go see Boss Baby when it came out, but
that's right. And it was just you two.
Yeah. Well, Naomi couldn't go, and because of that, you weren't going to go and be a third wheel.
Yeah. And only that,
and also you don't have money, right, or something like that.
That was About that time too. I was on I was on a pretty strict diet at that point too, and I was legitimately going, it's gonna mess up my meal plan if I go with you guys. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna stay. So
yeah, and so we ended up going to see it by just the two of us. And she loved it. She loves that film, and I'm kind of like,
I hate
whatever.
that. I watched it. I hate it so much.
But yeah, and then after that, I think maybe before that too, we ended up going to the park, just the two of us, a few times.
Yeah.
And then I went to you, and I was like, hey man, I really like her. I might ask her out.
Well, hold on. How much of the story do we want to tell?
Well, what are you thinking? Off air, I'll cut this out.
I'll admit that bit at least, because I was originally against it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really bad idea.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you want me to not?
And that's what I didn't want you to say at first. And I was like, frig it. Yeah, I was. I thought I was smarter than I was, and I was like, oh, you guys are too similar. It wouldn't work. And then you got married and proved me wrong. So,
well, you were in support after a week of us dating.
Oh, I was. I absolutely. As soon as you guys started dating, I was supportive.
It wasn't like you were against us until we got married, and you're like, oh well, can't change it now. No, it was like
no.
You were supportive after you saw us together.
Yeah, it was just at the time.
At the time your concerns were valid because to be fair, we are very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
And we're very, very similar, but it's this weird situation where it still works.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well,
so what was funny
I was going off of myself, who someone like me can't date someone else like me. I just can't.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that would
per personality. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, and I thought that was the same for everyone. And I was like, oh well, that's not gonna work, and so I was more like, I don't want to see you guys, get hurt, and I don't, it's gonna cause problems and blah 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 blah. And then And then it was like, "No, you're wrong." It's like, "Oh, okay." So
Yeah.
that's how that went.
Funny story about how it started. So I went to you, and you were like, "No," and I'm like, mentally, I'm like, "Well, for
you were like,
I'm gonna do it anyway."
You're like, "Okay, fine," but also I'm gonna do it. I was like,
I wouldn't admit it to you.
I didn't say you couldn't do it. I was just I said, "Hey, man, I said, and I want to put this on record. I said, I really hope it works out." I'm saying I was expressing my concerns, but I was saying that I'm hoping it all works out. So
yeah, you were, and I will admit that. Yeah. But what was funny, like I was just like, all right, that's valid concerns, but I don't share them, and I'm gonna do it anyway. So I had this weird dilemma because I was going away for the week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was the week before it came out, and I had to go away for a week for robotics.
Mm-hmm.
But we had been hanging out a lot lately, and I felt that she probably felt the same way about me. And I was like, all right, well... And also, it was a weird situation because I was... well, yeah.
No, talk. I want to hear it.
At the time, I was 17, and...
That's right, yeah. There's the pedophilia issue of the whole thing. I forgot about that.
She was 21, and I felt I was...
She was how old?
She was 21.
I thought she was 24 right now.
21.
Wait, she was younger than me?
At the time, she was 21. She's 22 right now.
Wait, we're the same age? I thought she was older than me this whole time.
No. Well, I think she's. What month is your birthday?
February?
No, yeah, she's younger than you. Are you 22?
What?
I thought you were 21.
No, I'm 22. How is she? What?
No,
this is all wrong, Dante.
No, she is older than you because she turns 23 this year.
Huh.
Anyway. we started dating in April, so she was 21, but she turned 22 later that year.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, so there was an age gap, and I was like, well, she's definitely out of my league. Like she's just kind of being my friend. Like she's not interested in me. I'm some 17-year-old kid that's going to college. Like
right.
So I like downplayed myself a lot, but I was like,
and do you still think that she's out of your league and she's not interested?
I mean, I have a healthy respect for the fact that I do not deserve her, but
well, that's all I'm saying. I was making a joke. It's like, do you still think that she's not interested?
But like, yeah. So I was like, well, I gotta just get this off my chest. And so I was in conflict. I was like, all right, well, I can tell her like right before I leave, or I can tell her when I get back. But it was eating me up so much. I told her the day I left.
It's such a risky move. It's scary. Oh, I know. That's right. And she was on Instagram nonstop. I was making fun of you guys for it. Because I was like, his face isn't going to change, right? Because you guys were just sending the same photos to each other. And I'm like, nothing's changing, right? Like, his face is still going to be the same. No matter
You never understood Snapchat.
I still don't. I don't understand why you'll send an image of your face. It's like, maybe once.
I don't use it anymore, really, because I don't have anybody to talk to on it.
Yeah. I have a phone that we could do it, but it's just gonna be me. I'll send you one photo, but I'll just keep resending that photo and be like, I'm doing it now. I'm Snapchatting.
Yeah,
I'm doing it right, Dante.
But yeah, so I was like, all right, I gotta tell her. So I told her the day I left, like literally I left.
That was a risky move.
That was a risky move. I left about like 5 hours later that day.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was like, I took her to the park where we hung out most of the time, and I was like, hey, I really like you, but I don't want
and she was like, get away. She was like, get away from me.
You creep. No, but I was like, I really like you. I don't want this to hurt our friendship. Blah blah blah. And she's like, yeah, well, I really like you too. And I had never officially dated before, so I was really awkward about it. And just in general, I've been really awkward. Like the first time, like we held hands or like
right.
I was really awkward.
I do want to admit something that what I'm realizing now, I have dated before, but I've always been bad at it. just in general. So I'm sitting here. I've had a bit more experience since you left because I've been acting. I've had to act. I've had to act romantic.
Oh, okay. And
what I'm realizing is, my God, I'm terrible. Like, I'm embarrassingly bad at this. So yeah, no, I feel that. I feel the awkwardness, man.
Yeah, like I was really awkward. Like I remember the one time we were sitting on the bench, and I'm like, "Can I do the awkward hand over the shoulder thing?" I literally asked her that, and she was like, "Sure."
Good job. Good job. Smooth. Good job.
Yeah, very smooth. I'm so smooth.
Can I touch your face? I feel it, man. I really feel that.
Yeah, but
in all seriousness,
it was really nice too because she ended up staying, because we ended up started dating like probably about a month before school went out, or like maybe a month or two.
Yeah.
So what was nice is she was she lived in Michigan and the school was in PA. She ended up staying for a good, like, the first half of the summer, because she was in a production.
Yeah, she was an intern.
Yeah, yep. So it was really nice because otherwise we would have had to like date for a little while and then have long distance for like the entire summer. But it was really nice because like the first half of the summer we had it was just us, and then the second half of the summer she went home. But then she came back, and after a little while it was like I popped the question, and we're married now. So
yeah, we got back, and you were like, "Oh, by the way, we're getting engaged." And I was like, "Oh, neat,
yeah.
cool." And then I want to air my grievance on this on the air. Okay. I was asked to be the best man, because of course I was. No, okay, I was asked to be the best man, specifically because your other best man. It wasn't a best man and two groomsmen. No. It wasn't a best man and two groomsmen. It was two best men, which I'm like, I don't think it's allowed. And a groomsman. And I was going, well, why did you ask both of us? Why don't one of us just be a groomsman? And you're like, well, I needed a best man who could drive. So I needed an adult so he could plan the bachelor party. And I went, oh.
No, okay.
So I was the best man because of necessity.
That was not my thinking. Thinking.
But no, don't worry, everyone. It didn't happen anyway. I was booted from being best man because you guys ended up getting eloped, I think.
We eloped.
No, you actually got no. I take it back. Sorry, you ended up getting married. We just weren't invited to it.
No, we eloped. It was elopement.
Your family was there. We weren't.
My family wasn't there.
Really?
No.
Oh. Suddenly I feel bad.
We got married, and her mom, her stepdad, and her brother were there. And that was it.
Dante, I'm so sorry.
Her brothers, and then her sister was on like Skype, but that was it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No,
So anyway, I was asked to be best man, and I was immediately, and then I was promptly fired.
All right. My thought process on this was I legitimately, like, you and Isaiah are like my two best friends. So I was picking you based on that. I like the other thing was the side of it, but I think that wasn't part of my decision making.
I want to point out that when I make you my best man, I'm not going to fire you, and I'm not going to pick you just because I need you to drive.
Thank you. I'm really sorry, man. It ended up being a money issue and a lot of different things. Yeah. But yeah, so that was good, and that came out of the Joker.
And yeah, that was an interesting conversation. That's how that went.
Yeah. Huh. Do we even have time to talk about the boxer? I don't think so.
I think we should hold off only because, and hear me out on this one. I still want to do it one day.
I do too.
And I don't want to put it on air where literally anyone could hear it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I've latched onto that project for some reason. I don't know what it is, but something about that project has just gripped me, and I'm like, I have to do this at some time.
Yeah, so we'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out, but
one day.
Yeah. But no, that was really fun.
Yeah, well,
our original topic was our top three movies of all time, but I think we'll hold off on that.
Yeah, and I think honestly for me, my favorite thing about this podcast is being able to. I think for me personally, when I'm listening to podcasts, the best thing about them is hearing the stories that people tell. If that makes sense, because you get to see. You get to kind of like vicariously live through these other people. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting too. It's almost like a interview into somebody's life. Yeah.
So I think that makes it more intriguing for me.
What's really cool too is I like listening to these myself, and it's almost like just listening back to a conversation that we've had that we've recorded.
I know it's
cool. Amazing. But yeah, Yeah, and I think we'll definitely talk about our top 3 movies at some point. Like maybe when we have a lull week, maybe after Infinity War or something.
Yeah.
Because the next 2 weeks we've got A Quiet Place next week, and then we've got Infinity War the week after. So I think
can we talk about where you're going to be next week? Is that allowed? Because I think, and by the way, I think you're punking me. And here's why: because I was told I can't talk to anyone about what's going on in the next week. And yet, all the people I've talked to about it, because I ignored your rules, all the people I talked to about it said, "Oh yeah, I've known for a month. They told me not to tell anyone." I swear to God, you're messing with me.
I'm not. The reason was to keep Naomi in the dark, but Cassie ended up telling her because she was really busy. The other reason was to keep my siblings in the dark, but they know, they just don't know when. So
good.
I'll just post.
So I just ruined it.
No, I'll just post this late.
Okay.
I'm gonna actively post this the day I get there.
Okay, we'll do that then.
So that way, yeah. But so for anyone that knows, Cassie and I have been living in Michigan since January.
Right.
And we are visiting next week. And so Zach and I are going to be able to not only record the podcast for the first time in person and potentially have a guest.
Well, yeah, we might have a guest. I gotta talk to people. They're pretty.
If we don't have one guest, we will definitely have another, and I'll tell you what
Dante,
that is.
I might have to talk to some people, but I think I might be able to work at something out where Dante joins me on the other podcast I'm a part of, so which would be kind of nice. Yeah. So they invited Noah, so I was like, I'm pretty sure they'll be fine with you coming along.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we just have to get him to record earlier.
That's the only thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out. But yeah. So I'm visiting, and we're gonna watch A Quiet Place together, and then we'll do a review of that, and then the week after I'll be back up here, but we'll be doing an Infinity War review. And then maybe we can say that the week after that we'll do top 3 movies, because I don't think there's anything major coming out. So
no, yeah.
So we'll do that then. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Sounds good.
I'm excited, and I think this was a good topic. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to get into our lives and talk about the stuff we've been through and the stuff we've done together. So
yeah, and I look forward to the future of projects that we get to work together on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So we'll have to work something out.
Yeah.
Wait. Cool. All right. So cue the music.
Cue outro music.
La 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 la. This is the end. Nice.